right, so we're gonna do a little recap video of the Legion that just took place this past Saturday in Nevada. And man, it was a great show. Everything, the peak, the whole prep, couldn't have gone any better, honestly. This was my first prep with Chris Aceto, and first time back on stage in almost 2 years, because some of you know last year I was in prep for Pittsburgh, but I decided to pull out, and I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to keep competing or not, and it didn't sit well finishing on that. So I was like, I'm going to do one more show, give it a go, see how everything turns out. And second place in a pretty good lineup, so I couldn't be happier. And this kind of gave me like a clear path that on a decision that I'm going to keep going in bodybuilding, because I'm 30 years old now, and I think I have plenty of years left to keep improving. And my ultimate goal is to compete in the Olympia. So just this past Saturday, I was one spot away from qualifying. So basically my plans now are shut it down for the year and improve, fill the gaps, mainly like glutes and hamstrings, and just conditioning from the back, and just overall fullness, which, another year with Chris Aceto, I'm confident we can definitely blow this look out of the water for next year. So it was just overall just a great experience. I don't want to say I wasn't expecting second, but it caught me by a little bit of surprise when I got moved to the middle there next to Tonio, and it was just so much fun. I mean, that's why I love competing, is doing shows where you're in the mix and contending for that top 2, top 3 spot. It felt like back when I was going for a pro card, and it just makes it so much more fun. These preps are not easy, and doing a show, I got 5th place at New York Pro in my pro debut, and then 5th place at Legion in 2023. And it's just not as much fun when you know where you're at, like you're in 4th, 5th, 6th place. And I'm just rambling now, but it's just the excitement you get from being in the middle of the first call out is I can't really explain it, and it's almost addicting. Like, it makes you want to push harder and work harder just to get that that first place and that qualification for the Olympia. So like I said, we're going to shut it down. I was going to do Toronto, but I figured, what's the point? I'm really happy with this placing, and this is a good momentum shift to go into the off season now. And I was going to give myself a little bit of a break, like a month or 2, but I figured I don't think that's going to be beneficial for me. I'd rather get right back on the plan. And so I messaged Aceto, and he got me all set up with a plan. I check in with him tomorrow, and I want to make the most progress possible for next year. So there's no time to really waste. And this show this past weekend really brought back that fire and that spark and the love for bodybuilding that I have. And that has not been around in the last 2 years. I did Tampa Pro in 2024, and it was just, I was starting to get really burnt out, and I wasn't sure how much longer I was going to compete for. Also, we were moving back and forth from Ohio back to Florida, and honestly, in my mind, I thought in order to be in the Olympia, I had to devote full-time bodybuilding. And as some of you may know, I have a pressure washing and window cleaning business here in Ohio, and it requires a lot of my attention. It's a business. It's more than a full-time job. It really never stops. So I was able to work every day this prep, and on my feet constantly, 15, 17,000 steps a day. And I wasn't sure how I was going to look. I was like, my legs could be washed out. I don't know. But I did know that I was going to finish the prep. Because like I said, last year, I dropped out of Pittsburgh, and, I just felt like I quit. So I didn't want to end it on that. So I did the whole prep for Legion, and the look, ended up just being great. I didn't know what to expect, because my body took a toll. I was working and just beat myself up a little bit, but having aceto, I think, is the biggest change with how my overall look turned out, because I was checking in with him every other day, and then towards the end it was every day, and cardio never even went over 30 minutes. I think a few days I did 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, but other than that it was 20, 25 minutes, some days none. And I think that just comes from being so active in my job that I didn't have to push the cardio that hard, and in turn, like, the outcome of that was just a better, fresher look, and my workouts were better. So everything just turned out really well, and I couldn't be happier. And this show, I guess, kind of solidified and made me realize that I can do both. I can run a business full time and stay on my feet, work a lot of hours, and as long as I, check in with my coach and eat everything I'm supposed to, there's nothing that can hinder the progress. So thank you guys for following along. This was the first video I made in a couple years, and I'm going to start posting more and taking you through the off-season journey and the whole way through into prep for next year, and hopefully get that Olympia qualification. So thank you guys for following along, and I don't know how to close this video out, but thank you.